Live from Athletic Kulture Stadium in Springwater Township, Baycats TV presents the Inter-County Baseball League. And this afternoon, it's Game 4 of the IBL Championship Series between the Welland Jackfish and the Barrie Baycats. Hi, everybody, and welcome to the ballpark on this beautiful Saturday with Julius Hern. I'm Ben Davy. Let's recap the series so far. The Jackfish lead 2-1. All 3 games decided by 1 run. All 3 games won by the home team, and 2 of those games going into walk-off fashion. So a lot of fans thought this was going to be a tooth-and-nail series. They've been right so far.
Absolutely. This is the first time since at least 2010 that the first 3 games of the finals have been decided by 1 run each. So this is kind of unprecedented territory. But it's also a testament to how well these 2 teams matched up. I asked players from both teams after Game 3 how they kind of felt the series was going, and they kind of had the same sentiment. And it's also kind of a precursor to what we think the series is going to be like from this point on.
It is pretty amazing. Neither team has been able to feel comfortable with any lead at any point in these 3 games so far, leading into today. A lot of home runs. We've had 7 so far in 3 games, but 6 of those 7 home runs have been solo shots. So it sort of feels like if either team can manage to get some base runners on before those home runs are hit, it'll put them in the driver's seat the rest of the way.
Yeah, it also shows that, when teams are getting runners on base, they just aren't able to capitalize. And that also goes to show how good the starting pitching has been in this series. Frank Garces, who we're going to see later on today, starting for the Baycats, went 8 innings. He did allow quite a few hits, but the only real runs that he gave up was a 2-run shot by Jake Sanford, the only one of those home runs that wasn't a solo shot. So we're also going to see Euclidus Layer today, which might be a different look for the Baycats. Haven't seen him all year, so again, another exciting pitching matchup.
Game 4 is next. We'll have the first pitch and the starting lineups when we return. Visit Alliance Billiards and Sports in the northeast end of Barrie. A fun, friendly family environment offering pool, darts, karaoke, and live entertainment. Enjoy a large variety of delicious food and drinks on the patio. You'll come as a stranger and leave as a friend. The Collingwood Brewery at 10 Sanford Fleming, producing delicious lagers, ales, and seltzers since 2014. The proud home of the Baycats Brew. Check out their retail shop and tap room, and select products at the LCBO, beer store, and grocery stores. Cheers, and go Baycats! IBL Championship Series, Welland and Barrie, Game 4. With a win today, the Welland Jackfish could clinch this series at home tomorrow afternoon. The Baycats will try to tie this series at 2 with a win and shorten this up to a best of 3.
You see this all the time in sports, not just baseball, where a team will, if a team goes down 3-1, you can kind of say that their season's over, but though how close, as we mentioned, how close this series has been, you really don't know what's going to happen. I think we're in for a great ball game this afternoon.
Let's look at the lineup for Brian Essery's Welland Jackfish, brought to you by Sports Medicine, the official clinic of the Barrie Baycats. The leadoff man is second baseman Jonah Weisner. Gio Morello hits second in center field. Robert Mullen, the catcher, in the 3 spot. Jake Sanford is the DH, batting cleanup. Grayson Barrett bats 5th at first. At shortstop, hitting 6th is Brendan Luther. Travis Green at third base this afternoon, batting 7th. Number 8 hitter is left fielder Brandon Hoope. And hitting 9th is right fielder Mateo Porcelato.
Frank Garces in the red alternates getting the start today for the Barrie Baycats. Second start of this series, 5th overall in the postseason. Comes in with a 2-0 record, a 2.61 ERA, 40 strikeouts, in 31 innings pitched. Went 8 innings in Game 1 and allowed 4 runs.
And it was a chilly and somewhat rainy Saturday morning when we woke up here in Barrie, but boy, the skies cleared in a hurry. The sun is brightly shining, and we've got humidex readings in the mid-20s here this afternoon. So summer-like weather here for Game 4 of this IBL Championship Series today.
Yeah, you look around the ballpark and a fantastic crowd. As you mentioned, you're seeing some Welland fans as well coming. I know they had a bus come from Welland out to the park today, which is great to see. But if you looked around here, you wouldn't be able to tell that it rained earlier this morning. So perfect weather, you could say, for playoff baseball.
Home plate umpire this afternoon is Michael Guthrow. First base is Chris Walters. Jeff Rose at second, and Mike Kinnear handles duties at third. As Frank Garces pitched the opener of this series, back out here for Game 4. Baycats going with the throwback reds today. They wore those on Thursday nights in the regular season.
5 earned runs allowed by Garces in those 8 innings in Game 1. But he's been a real workhorse for this Baycats team. You could argue the story of their postseason so far, the way he's been able to shove every start.
And a win today not only shortens this to a best-of-3 series, it guarantees these fans another home game here, Game 6, which would be played on Tuesday night. So this is our last afternoon game of 2025, no matter what happens. Here in Barrie, at least. Tomorrow's game's in the afternoon at Welland Stadium. Weisner steps in. Garces, couple of stretches on the mound as he adjusts his belt and gets ready for the first pitch here. Showing bunts as Weisner pulls it back. It's a called strike. We're underway at 4:11. Game time temperature 22, but again, feeling more into the mid-20s with the humidity. Very light breeze right now, blowing in slightly and from right to left. Pretty much negligible at the moment. Weisner, Morello, and Mullen, the top third of the order for the Jackfish. Frank Garces, the former Major League Baseball pitcher for the San Diego Padres. Called strike. Quickly ahead of Weisner, 0-2.
Weisner had that leadoff home run in Game 2 off of Cesar Rosado. Don't imagine he's going to get a similar kind of pitch to put some power on this time around.
40 playoff strikeouts so far, looking for 41. That one just missed. One ball, 2 strikes. Weisner is ready. Lefty-lefty matchup here with Garces into the full windup. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Brought to you by IMP North as Frank Garces starts the game with a strikeout.
Give the defense here for the Barrie Baycats behind Frank Garces. In the outfield from left to right, Tristan Clark, Noel McGarry Doyle, Clayton Keys. On the infield, Hayden Jaco is back at third base, started Game 3 at first. The Hernandez brothers, Brandon and Francisco, up the middle, short and second. Noah Macabrota back at first, and it's Tyler Plumpton once again catching for Frank Garces.
Gio Morello hitting .278 through 11 games. We'll bat with nobody on and a man out here in the top of the first inning. Pitches inside from Garces. So a couple of left-handers here at the top of the order to face Garces before he faces the righty Mullen on deck. To second, Hernandez gloves it low, makes the throw, and it's right on the mark, 2 down.
When we came into the series, I don't think I imagined the platoon, matchup really being as much of a factor as it would be, because the Baycats, Garces is their only lefty, so you have a bit of an advantage in that sense with a lefty-heavy lineup that the Jackfish have. Meanwhile, the Baycats can kind of go half and half with you, and we'll see that a little later on with the right-hander layer on the mound in the bottom half.
And the Jackfish won't even have to face left-hander Braden Pakala, who's back at school now and gone for the rest of the series. So here's a right-handed bat, Robert Mullen, with 2 out in the inning. To third, down the line, that's a fair ball. Tristan Clark gives chase. Mullen wide turn at first, but heads back. It's a 2-out single for Robert Mullen here in the first inning.
Yeah, Mullen not a great runner. See, he was some long strides out of the box. I think at any other runner in this Jackfish lineup, that might be extra bases.
Designated hitter number 13, Jake Sanford.
So Sanford will come to the plate. Garces will have a 2-out base runner to deal with here. Sanford .238 in the postseason through 6 games. Batting cleanup here this afternoon. Here's the first pitch. Hits this one over the first baseman Macabrota down the right field line. Mullen goes to third. That's an extra base hit for Jake Sanford. He stands up with a double. 2 in scoring position for Welland.
Very interesting. That was basically the exact same hit, just on the other side of the field, lefty-righty, between Mullen and Jake Sanford there, and he does get extra bases out of it. He hit Frank Garces really well in the first game of this series, had that 2-run homer at Welland Stadium, and come through with another extra base hit.
Grayson Barrett to the plate for Welland. The 2 on, 2 out. Mullen at third, Sanford at second. Garces will try to pitch out of an early jam here. First pitch, down the line, and foul. So the Jackfish really spraying the ball down the lines here.
Well, that one Barrett was just a bit late on, despite being a bit off speed. Mullen and Sanford each having to pull a fastball to get on base here.
0-1 to Grayson Barrett coming up. Garces to the belt. And he delivers. Fly ball, straightaway center field. Couple steps to his right is McGarry Doyle, and he sees that for the out. Jackfish strand 2 in the top of the first. No score here at Athletic Kulture Stadium in Springwater Township.
From 400 Chrysler and Barrie Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. This year, we are the community partners of the Barrie Baycats. Community is near and dear to our hearts here at the dealerships and one of our core values, so we can support local and shop local.
Visit Alliance Billiards and Sports in the northeast end of Barrie. A fun, friendly family environment offering pool, darts, karaoke, and live entertainment. Enjoy a large variety of delicious food and drinks on the patio. You'll come as a stranger and leave as a friend.
First Thing in Play is brought to you by Park Place, Barrie's Grand Slam destination for dining, shopping, and fun. See you after the game.
And the defending IBL champion Barrie Baycats will line up as follows for manager Josh Matlow. Noel McGarry-Doyle leading off in center field. Brandon Hernandez at shortstop batting second. Brother Francisco at second hits third. Nola Macabrota in the cleanup spot hitting fourth. Tristan Clark in left field bats fifth. Hayden Jaco at third base today batting sixth. Noah Hall is DHing and batting seventh. Clayton Keys in right field bats eighth. Tyler Plumpton, number 9 hitter, and catching for Frank Garces.
On the mound, Euclidus Layer of the Welland Jackfish. First time he's pitched against the Baycats since the 2019 playoffs, so it's been quite a while for him. First year back in the league since that season, and a 1-1 record of 5.17 ERA in the playoffs.
We thought we were going to see Layer in Game 3 of this series, but a last-minute change put Ortega on the mound. And Ortega gave the Baycats lineup fits over the first 2 times through the order in Game 3.
I will say it's very interesting, that decision, because the league obviously got word that it was going to be Layer. They posted it on social media, but then it was Ortega.
And this one will drop into center field for a base hit. Noel McGarry-Doyle is aboard to lead it off for the Baycats.
There's defense for the Welland Jackfish. Brendan Hupe in left, Gio Morello in center, Mateo Porcelato in right field. Thomas Green back in the lineup at third base. Brendan Luther at short, Jonah Weisner at second, Grayson Barrett at first, and Robert Mullen behind the plate.
Jackfish pitching has been excellent in the postseason. 2.57 earned run average collectively, but Layer with the highest ERA of this pitching squad, 5.17 through the postseason so far. 3 games. Runner goes, the throw down, the tag. They got him. Noel McGarry-Doyle caught stealing on a great throw by catcher Robert Mullen.
Bang, bang play there at second base. Didn't look like McGarry-Doyle got the greatest jump. Kind of surprised he went on the first pitch, but obviously noticing a bit of a slower delivery here from Layer, you see, with that sidearm delivery.
They are 1-1 in the playoffs with a save. And a strike to Hernandez.
Well, it was really one game against the Guelph Royals, the one that he lost. We really got hit around pretty well. 5 2/3 allowed 7 earned runs.
2-1 the count.
And that save came in Game 5, a 4-inning save.
Brandon's averaged .302 through 11 games. He's ahead in the count here, 3-1. Here's the pitch, and it's fouled away. Francisco Hernandez is on deck, and you better believe he's going to get a huge hand when he comes to the plate here for his first at-bat. He was the hero in Game 2, the only game of this series to go extra innings, hitting a home run on the first pitch from Davy Mendez. Catch is made in left field by Brandon Hupe. 2 down in the inning. Here comes Francisco. First-year Baycat hitting .349. 11 playoff games. Nobody on, 2 out, bottom of the first inning. Pitch from Layer, outside.
Layer's got a 3-pitch mix, 2-seam fastball, slider, changeup, and that deceptive sidearm delivery, as I mentioned. But he can run that slider inside on righties.
Fly ball right field. Porcelato barely had to move. Baycats quiet in the first, save for a single by McGarry-Doyle, caught stealing, and otherwise 3 up, 3 down. We played an inning scoreless here in Barrie.
Thinking about doing a renovation but don't know where to find the best prices and quality? Go to Reno Liquidation Depot, where you'll find vanities, flooring, toilets, exterior doors, and so much more. Visit Reno Liquidation Depot today.
Step up to the plate at Park Place. The latest fashion, delicious dining, exciting entertainment. Hungry after the game? Stop by one of their patios or grab a sweet treat for a grand slam of flavors to satisfy every craving. Park Place, where every visit is a home run. The only North Barrie Market, your go-to for homemade meals, catering service, and the freshest locally sourced meat. Get ready for an unforgettable barbecue experience with Barrie Best Barbecue coming soon. All at North Barrie Market, 580 Bayfield. Second inning at Athletic Kulture Stadium, Baycats Jackfish, Game 4 with Welland. Looking for a 3-1 stranglehold on Barrie. They can do it with a win here this afternoon. Frank Garces able to get out of the first inning, stranding two Jackfish runners behind him. Brendan Luther, the shortstop, will lead it off here for Welland in the top of the second inning.
Yeah, Luther was the hero, Game 3. RBI single in that bottom of the 8th inning, and it was that run that was the difference in Game 3, giving the Jackfish this series lead.
One 1-0 to Luther. Thomas Green is on deck. Frank Garces with 31 innings of work over his 4 starts. Impressive postseason numbers again here in 2025.
You got to imagine if the Baycats can pull off a championship win this year again, he would be the front runner for MVP.
It's the series MVP last year against the Gulf Royals. Baycats swept that series 4 straight.
But it's playoff MVP. It's kind of like hockey where it's the Conn Smythe Trophy is the entire playoffs. It's not just the Stanley Cup Final MVP.
2-1 to Luther. Pitch from Garces. Fouled off to the left. Late arriving fans hard pressed to find a seat here today. Bleachers pretty much full.
Surprised we're not seeing more umbrellas at this point.
That sun is going to be right in our eyes for about 6 innings today. Shouldn't affect the fielders at all because it's behind them, except for maybe the left fielder. Fly ball, shallow center field. That's going to drop for a base hit. Brendan Luther aboard with nobody out here in the second. The sun here at Athletic Kulture Stadium sets behind the first base side, deep first base, kind of behind the Barrie bullpen. So once it kind of hits the horizon, it can kind of play games with anybody on the left side, but for now, the sun's in a good position for them. Not so much for the fans that are squinting and facing the action here from behind home plate.
Kind of got a feel at this point for the folks that are sitting on the Jackfish dugout side, because that sun's right in their eyes as well.
And by far and away the fewest covered seats in the IBL here at Athletic Kulture Stadium.
I mean, we're in the bleachers. That's not a.
But we have a lot of trees. They're just all on the wrong side of the fences. No balls, 1 strike. Thomas Green at the plate. Garces looking at the runner. Luther, he does not go. This one fouled over to the Barrie on deck circle.
Yeah, Luther's got 3 steals in the playoffs. He's got great speed. Definitely a candidate to go, but obviously a lefty on the mound. You don't want to take your chances, as Garces. He's got a great pickoff move, but doesn't use it all that often.
Green with 12 playoff strikeouts. Garces has him 0-2 here. And drawing a throw is Luther. Plumpton had set up away prior to that toss over to first. Let's see if they try to get him to chase something outside here. No balls, 2 strikes. Garces pitches. And staying alive is Green as he fouls that off right side.
Green was 1 for 3 against Garces in game 1. Managed to avoid the strikeout in his 3 at-bats.
It'll be an 0-2 from Garces. Fouled again over to the Welland dugout. That one jammed him, just kind of went off the top of the bat.
It looked
Lupe on deck, Porcelado to follow.
Looked like the kind of batted ball you might expect to kind of break the bat off the top, but Green's got good hands. This has been a really nice battle of trying to stay alive.
Middle infield, double play depth, playing Green straight away. Here's the pitch. Little check swing, and he stays alive. Nice little at bat here by Thomas Green. Still down on the count, 0-2. Frank Garces delivers up high, 1-2. That pitch just at the letters. A nice take by Green to keep the at-bat going. Here comes the crowd and the beautiful sunshine this afternoon here in Springwater. Pitch on the way, swung and a missed. Garces gets him on strikes. It's brought to you by IMP North. 1 out in the inning.
Took longer than Garces obviously would have liked to. Green put up a great battle there, and that's why he's in the line. The right-handed hitters, especially at the bottom here, with Hupe coming up, it's going to be a little bit of a trouble getting through the bottom of the order. You don't really say that very often, but Hupe hit that home run inside the park in Game 3.
Hupe has had some big moments for Welland in the postseason, and now they got the runner picked off. Here's the throw to Hernandez. The tag, it's in time. Luther a little bit anxious on that jump and ended up making his way to second a little bit too early. Garces was not fooled.
What interests me on that play is that the throw went to second base, but Brandon Hernandez came to cut it off, even though Francisco Hernandez was kind of straddling the bag. So obviously the momentum of the shortstop helped with the tag there.
Yeah, situation there where those two middle infielders really need to communicate to make sure they know who's covering in a situation like that. Fortunately, it all turned out okay for the Baycats. Pitch to Hupe, called strike, outside corner. Hupe, 342 in 11 games here in the postseason so far. 1-1 pitch, swings through it. And now Garces a strike away from getting out of this second inning.
That slider from Garces is going to be very valuable in these counts, especially those right-handed hitters going to try and keep it away, and that's what fooled Hupe in the last pitch.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Plumpton sets the target. Garces with a delivery, swing and a miss, strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts, Green and Hupe to end the second. We've played an inning and a half. Still scoreless. Welland and Barrie here at Game 4. Danielle May Real Estate, supporting the Barrie Baycats and ready to help with all of your real estate questions. What is your home worth? Should you sell now or wait? Danielle is dedicated to your success. The next time you think real estate, think Danielle May.
receiving claim your prize at the Baycats merch booth located.
It's Game 4 of the IBL Championship Series between the Welland Jackfish and the Barrie Baycats. Ben Davy and Julius Hern with you in Springwater Township.
Yeah, second inning of play is brought to you by JC Unlimited Contracting. Design, supply, build, renovate. Servicing Simcoe region for over a decade.
Clintus Layer will face Nolan Macabrota, Tristan Clark, and Hayden Jaco, 4, 5, 6. Baycats with a hit in the bottom of the first. Welland with 3 so far this afternoon. There's no glossing over the fact that this has been a tough postseason for Big Mac. You just 205 through 11 games after an outstanding regular season.
You and I were having this conversation pregame about whether or not Macabrota deserved to be moved down the lineup. Because we saw with Mateo Porcelato, who will lead off the third for Welland. He's really been struggling. He got moved down to the number 3 spot in Game 3. Macabrota's kind of been that stronghold in the 4 spot for Barrie. And I argue with you that it's so valuable having him and then Tristan Clark after him because they feed off each other so well.
Fouls that one back to the screen. Well, certainly it's a benefit to Clark to have a dangerous bat in front of him in Macabrota, but the way Macabrota's been struggling, I think if it wasn't the IBL Championship Series, you might see a bit of an adjustment in the lineup.
Well, I will also argue that a lot of the struggles for Macabrota were in round 1. He was 0 for 19 until the walk-off moment in Game 5.
And what a moment it was. Extended the postseason for Barrie in a do-or-die situation, so. Could use a big afternoon here. Here's the pitch. And he fouls that one 2-2.
He's obviously seeing the pitch as well out of Layer's hand despite the deceptive delivery. Because those last few he's fouled off, the swing has been right there. He just hasn't been able to connect with the right part of the bat.
You do see a lot of similarities between Porcelato and Macabrota just in terms of postseason struggles. Porcelato hit .396 in the regular season. His count goes to 3-2.
And Layer thought he got that pitch. He was quickly off the mound doing the strut. Mullen tried to frame it up for him, but didn't get the call there from Michael Guthrow.
In the case of Porcelato, he was moved down to the number 9 spot in Welland's order. Josh Matlow showing confidence in the first baseman. He strikes out here to lead off the second inning. So 1 out for Tristan Clark.
Tristan Clark.
Clark with a .341 postseason average. When you look at the offensive stats for the Baycats, this is quite telling as well. Only 4 Barrie hitters are hitting .240 or better in the 11 games so far. The Hernandez brothers, Noel McGarry-Doyle, and this man at the plate, Tristan Clark. Everybody else is hitting under .240. Been a lot of production from those 4. Could certainly use more from the rest of them. Foul territory, is it playable? No, just out of the reach. Grayson Barrett gave it a good effort.
And on that point, Macabrota's right in the middle of those 4 in the lineup. It's 1, 2, 3, McGarry-Doyle, Hernandez, then Macabrota and Clark. You're getting so much production from the top of your lineup that you struggle to get something out of the bottom. Got a few hits yesterday, including a home run from Clayton Keys, but again, a solo home run. It's not going to do anything to get a rally going.
Layer pulled the string, and Clark just swung right through it. 1-2.
And if the bottom of the lineup, you want to turn over and have runners on for those guys that are hitting well to cash in.
Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Clark chased a bad one. 2 strikeouts here in the second. Now it's Hayden Jaco.
5, Hayden Jaco.
Jaco playing in his 6th playoff game here for Barrie in 2025. First offering to him, low and away.
I know Jacob will be in the lineup tomorrow, but he won't be past Game 5, which is, it's interesting to think about that he'll play 7 regular season games and only 7 playoff games.
Baycats hopeful he can make a big contribution here today. Pivotal game in this series. They don't want to fall behind 3-1 to the first place Welland Jackfish, the 2025 pennant winners. Swing and a miss by Jaco, 1-2.
Really early on that pitch there, Jaco. It's kind of the same pitch that got Tristan Clark on his strike 3.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 out. Pitch from Lair, swung on a missed. 3 strikeouts for Lair in the second. We played Tues, scoreless here on Athletic Kulture Stadium. The Collingwood Brewery at 10 Sanford Fleming, producing delicious lagers, ales, and seltzers since 2014. The proud home of the Baycats Brew. Check out their retail shop and tap room and select products at the LCBO, beer store, and grocery stores. Cheers, and go Baycats!
What if a thrift store could change lives? Barrie Families Unite is making it happen. Essential needs support for those families in our community who need it most. Charity gives. Dignity empowers.
Welcome back to Athletic Kulture Stadium. It's the Baycats and the Jackfish battling it out here in Game 4 of the IBL Championship Series. It's been a pitcher's duel through 2. Frank Garces and Euclides Lair as we head to the 3rd inning. Mateo Porcelato will come to the plate for the first time here this afternoon, and then back to the top of the order for Weisner and Morello. Baycats wearing the throwback red jerseys here on this Saturday afternoon. Had some good success wearing those this year. The Jackfish with the road green, red and green on the field. Kind of feels like Christmas, other than the weather.
Christmas in September. Do you like the Reds on a Saturday afternoon?
It doesn't really matter to me which day. I think it's a great uniform, and it's a nice nod to the previous era of Baycats baseball. The very early years of the Barrie Baycats. Porcelato takes the first pitch. It's a fastball for a strike.
Well, Josh Matlow, the manager, was telling us he left it up to Frank Garces to decide what uniform he wanted to wear in his final home start of the season.
Yeah, Josh told us what Frank wants, Frank gets, pretty much, especially in a situation like this. You want to make sure your pitcher is comfortable and has every little superstition and ritual in place before the biggest game of the playoffs so far.
Could have gone with the home whites, but Garces liking the Reds. He's pitching the Reds the most this year, usually being that Thursday night home starter.
I have heard, as Garces steps off, it's quite common even in Major League Baseball for the manager to leave it up to the starting pitcher to decide what uniform is worn.
Not in the case of Chris Sale, if you remember that.
He was not happy about the uniform,
No.
the jersey that the White Sox had to go on that day. This one high and deep to right field. Long way back, reaching up, and it's caught by Clayton Keys. No, it's over the wall for a home run.
He caught it.
Did he make the catch? He did, okay. I lost that with the sun right in my eyes. Keys had a long way back to go.
Didn't look like Porcelato got all of it off the bat, but that ball just kept carrying with the launch angle it had. Keys was about a few paces in front of the warning track, having to reach above his head to make that catch on the run.
Garces misses on the first pitch. Jonah Weisner struck out to start the game. It's a ground ball to the right side. Quick relay to Garces, covering in time for the out. Macabrota to Garces, 2 away. And here comes Gio Morello.
That play was a bit questionable from my perspective because Macabrota clearly called for it. You could hear him from up here. Garces going to the bag. He kind of looked he had to kind of divert his route a little bit, which made that play much closer than I think Baycats would have liked it to.
Morello was 0 for 1 today. Frank has retired 4 in a row after Brendan Luther was caught stealing in the second inning. We're in the third, still scoreless. First pitch from Garces, fastball for a strike. Fly ball center field. McGarry Doyle makes the running catch. 3 up, 3 down, going to Jackfish in the third. 2.5 in the books. Scoreless in Barrie.
Hi, I'm Chrissy Fans from 400 Chrysler and Barrie Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. This year, we are the community partners of the Barrie Baycats. Community is near and dear to our hearts here at the dealerships and one of our core values, so we can support local and shop local.
Visit Alliance Billiards and Sports in the northeast end of Barrie. A fun, friendly family environment offering pool, darts, karaoke, and live entertainment. Enjoy a large variety of delicious food and drinks on the patio. You'll come as a stranger and leave as a friend.
Third inning of play is brought to you by Render 3D Quick, the #1 architectural 3D rendering company in Canada, working with thousands of builders, developers, architects, and more.
A reminder that this series moves back to Welland Stadium tomorrow afternoon, so it's a busy weekend of baseball. The home-and-home weekend here for the Baycats and the Jackfish. Game 5 in Welland, 4:05 at the Pond tomorrow afternoon. And a lot of Welland fans here this afternoon, so we'd certainly love to see Baycats fans return the favor. Make that trip down the QEW for some afternoon baseball tomorrow. Noah Hull comes to the plate and takes a strike. And then Tuesday night here in Barrie, if the Baycats can win one of these two games, today or tomorrow, they have to win one of these two to keep the series alive and bring Game 6 back here. Swing and a miss by Hull. If not, this could be our last home game of the year. No balls, 2 strikes. Layers pitch, popped up, left side, and it's foul. Layer struck out the side in the second, got Macabrota, Clark, and Jaco. I have to wonder if that deceptive arm angle is fooling some of these Baycat hitters here this afternoon.
I think it's mostly the movement. He's got some crazy movement. Hits both sides of the plate.
Their first time seeing him.
There's only been one player on the Baycats roster that's faced Layer before in his career, and it was Ryan Rio, 0 for 2 with an RBI, 2 walks, and a strikeout.
Good at bat by Hull here as he battles back. Lays off that one. 2-2 now.
But again, that was back in 2019. Lair has not pitched against Barrie in the regular season.
Fouled off, and the count holds at 2-2.
It's been a long time since Lair's pitched on the mound here in Springwater.
Hull is ready, holds the bat still, waits. Here's the pitch, just missed. What a take by Noah Hull.
Yeah, Hull didn't play game 3. Clayton Keys came into the lineup for him. The idea was to keep Hayden Jaco available to possibly pitch late in that game, but didn't end up having to take him out of the first base position.
Hull hits this one down the line. It's a fair ball. And he's aboard with a single. Great effort by Barrett. Couldn't come up with it and make the play.
Yeah, it's going to be an infield hit there for Noah Hull, and deservedly so. It was a hot shot. Grayson Barrett did all he could to try and guard the line and get a piece of it, but scoots right past him in the shallow right field, and that's a big leadoff base runner for Barrie.
Yeah, we were on the bus on the way to Welland, and Jaco was telling me, he's like, I want to pitch today. And I thought he was kidding. I'm like, yeah, sure, right. I mean, we know he can pitch, but he hasn't been used as a pitcher. And then we find out later he was serious. And it was a definite possibility in that game.
Matt Lowe ends up using Henriquez to bridge from Benitez to Sano. And
first pitch high and in to Clayton Keys.
that 8th inning ended up being what cost the Baycats that one-run single, as I mentioned, from Luther. But Clayton Keys didn't disappoint, getting his first attempt at playing in the IBL Finals in Game 3. He hit a big home run.
Fouled back to the screen.
I'm not sure if you saw where that home run landed in Game 3, but I was filming. I was on Keys the whole time. I didn't get to look at where the ball was going, but I was told it went over the scoreboard at Welland Stadium.
Wow. And there's some backyards out there as well. I wonder how often a ball ends up in somebody's backyard there. Called strike, 1-2. Keys tried to check his swing. Adam Odd unavailable today, for those wondering. Personal commitment, keeping him out of the lineup here today. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch, outside. And it's a 2-2 count to Keys.
And that's a big loss from the Baycats lineup. Brian Essery, the Jackfish manager, told me how much he likes Odd as a baseball player, saying he's one of his favorite players in the league.
Pitches outside, 3-2.
And if I remember correctly, he told me that if he were to take any Baycats player and put him on his team, it would be Adam Odd.
He's on a short list of players you would want on the plate in a clutch situation with the game on the line. I think there would be widespread agreement on that. Swing and a miss. Keys goes down.
Well, there's that deadly slider from Lair again. Works Keys inside, and with great velocity, Keys couldn't catch up, but also would have jammed him had he got the bat on it.
4 strikeouts for Lair. Plumped into the plate for Barrie. Ninth playoff game for Plumpton here in the 2025 postseason. 182 average. Bats with a runner on and 1 out here in the 3rd.
Plumpton was moved down to the 9 spot in Game 3 as well, and I question that, and also in this game, because he's so valuable in the 8 spot. In a situation like this, with Hull getting on to lead off the inning, Plumpton's that easy, bunt candidate. It would have been a great situation with nobody out to move Hull into scoring position for Keys, but the number 9 spot, that's not a possibility.
Runner leads, hits this one on the ground to 3rd. The throw to second for 1, over to 1st. That's in time for the double play. We've played 3 here in Barrie. Still no score. Game 4 of the 2025 IBL Championship Series.
For the Baycats hitting the bottom of the 3rd.
The only North Barrie Market, your go-to for homemade meals, catering service, and the freshest locally sourced meat. Get ready for an unforgettable barbecue experience with Barrie Best Barbecue coming soon. All at North Barrie Market, 580 Bayfield.
Thinking about doing a renovation but don't know where to find the best prices and quality? Go to Reno Liquidation Depot, where you'll find vanities, flooring, toilets, exterior doors, and so much more. Visit Reno Liquidation Depot today.
Step up to the plate at Park Place. The latest fashion, delicious dining, exciting entertainment. Hungry after the game? Stop by one of their patios or grab a sweet treat for a grand slam of flavors to satisfy every craving. Park Place, where every visit is a home run. Ben Davy and Julius Hern here at Athletic Kulture Stadium for Game 4 of the IBL Championship Series on a beautiful Saturday afternoon. Final weekend game here in Springwater Township for these Baycats fans, and a picture-perfect day weather-wise. A little bit of cloud cover now starting to come in from the west. It's been a beautiful sunny afternoon. Robert Mullen will come to the plate to lead it off for the Jackfish here in the fourth. Crowd here this afternoon, certainly comparable to the Pack the Park nights we had in terms of attendance.
You could argue this is the best attendance of the year in this game.
Wouldn't surprise me.
It's either this game or the final game of the regular season against the majors. That game decided second place in the standings.
1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch from Garces. On the ground to short. Brendan Hernandez makes a wild throw. Just uncorked one way over the head of Nolan Macabrota.
We're talking about that crowd. Hernandez sent that ball into him. He had a couple, watching him take infield practice today, he had a couple throws that were kind of nonchalant like that. Didn't end up getting, wouldn't have ended up making a play at first base. Had to be in a game, whether it was low or throws that were high that brought Macabrota off the bag. Missed all of that.
So Mullen at second, nobody out. And here comes Jake Sanford. A pretty routine play for Brandon Hernandez, but one of the wildest throws we've seen from him. And now Sanford calls time.
Everybody clap your hands.
Shaping up to be another close, low-scoring game between these two teams. All 3 games in this series so far decided by 1 run. One to 0 the count to Sanford. Sanford doubled in the first inning. The Jackfish were able to get 2 aboard on Frank Garces, but a flyout off the bat of Grayson Barrett ended the first. Take by Sanford gets the count to 2-0.
When you look back at the last 3 games of this series, the scoring started in all 3 games in the 3rd inning. Adam Ollie with that home run in game 1, inning number 3, and then scoring started for Welland in both games 2 and 3 in the 3rd.
To center field, it'll drop for a base hit. Mullen had to go back to the bag just to make sure that ball wasn't caught. He'll get to third, so Sanford is aboard. Runners in the corners with nobody out.
Grayson Barrett.
And check this out. I know you love baseball symmetry and patterns and whatnot. Game 1, 6-5. Game 2, 5-4. Game 3, 3-2. Does that mean Game 4 will be 2-1?
I mean, we've seen so
pattern.
many trends like this all year long, man.
I guess the only thing missing there was a 4-3 score. Swing and a miss. Maybe we'll get a 4-3 score today.
Possibly. It's kind of like all of the 3 games of the series so far have been the same, but also so different.
Interesting storylines. The first 3 games of this series, each one with a unique outcome. No balls, 2 strikes. Garces with 3 strikeouts so far. 1 in the first, 2 in the second. Barrett just got a piece, keeps the at-bat going.
Barrett had a similar approach in his first at-bat against Garces. He was working an 0-2 count, was able to foul off some pitches. Worked a couple balls into the count, but ended up flying out to center.
No balls, 2 strikes. Frank Garces to Grayson Barrett. The left-hander deals. Called strike 3. 4th strikeout for Garces. 1 out in the 4th. Strikeout for IMP North. Here comes Brendan Luther.
Shortstop number 20, Brendan Luther.
Luther singled to start the second, was caught stealing though, and then Garces followed that up with back-to-back strikeouts to get out of the second inning. Green and Hoope both went down swinging. Another lefty-lefty matchup here. Here's the pitch from Garces. Fly ball down the line and foul.
You know, we talked about this in the open, and you know how important these base runners have been in this series. You know, Welland, if you look back at Game 2 here, they left 12 runners on. They had 10 walks in that game, but they struck out 13 times. You know, you're not being able to put the ball in play with runners on base, and that's what's allowing these starting pitchers to be able to pitch out of the jams they end up getting themselves into.
0-1. Pitch from Garces. And laying off that one is Luther. Gets the count to 1-1. So runners on the corners. Mullen reaching on an error, a wild throw from shortstop Brandon Hernandez. Got him to second. He took third on a base hit by Sanford. And now Luther to bat here with 1 out and runners at first and third. Sanford with a modest lead. Garces takes a look over at him and comes home with a delivery. Fouled away. No surprise we haven't seen Sanford in motion yet this at bat.
He's yet to steal a base in the playoffs so far. Not really known as a base stealer, but I'm sure if they want to stay out of a double play to end this inning, they would send him. Give them a better chance of scoring Mullen.
Middle infield just a shade to the right. Double play depth. They'll be ready for anything on the ground. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Luther leans back as he looks in. Now settles into his stance. Pitch from Garces. Fly ball left field. Clark, a long way to go down the line. Makes the running catch. Runner tags. Here's the throw. And it's cut off. 1-0 Welland. Well, a great catch by Tristan Clark in foul territory, but a somewhat costly one as it brings in the game's first run.
I think in that instance, you trade the out for a run. You don't really often see a foul ball like that end up scoring a run. You don't really end up seeing a foul out being a sacrifice fly, but that's heads up base running from Robert Mullen. And again, just being able to put the bat on the ball for Welland, even though it's not in play, between the lines, it ends up scoring a run.
Tristan's going to catch anything pretty much that he can get to, but unfortunate situation with that runner on third and a low-scoring game. Welland's able to get on the board first here in this fourth inning. The 2 out, and here's Thomas Green. Sanford stayed at first. First pitch is outside. So it's 1-0 Welland. An early lead on Frank Garces here in the fourth. First pitch, or second pitch is outside. 2-0 now. Jackfish with a win today will have a chance to clinch this series at home tomorrow afternoon. And certainly Jackfish fans would look forward to that opportunity. Garces with a pitch, swing and a miss. 2-1 to Thomas Green.
Yeah, brought in the changeup there. I don't think Green was sitting on it. Caught him a bit off guard, and he was late. Or early, pardon me.
2 balls, 1 strike. Sanford at first. Nolan Macabroda holding him on. Here's the pitch to Green. Swings and misses through the fastball. 2-2. Brendan Houpe on deck. Hopeful for an at-bat here in the fourth inning. And here comes the crowd behind Frank Garces. Got his 4th strikeout earlier in this inning. 2-2 pitch. And the at-bat will continue as Green stays alive.
He just got a piece of that. That was going to be a slider outside that Green, hesitated a little bit to start off that swing, but ends up getting the cup of the bat on a little bit.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Sanford, the lead at first. Garces to Green. Popped up, shallow right center field. Looks like Noel McGarry Doyle will have that one for the final out of the inning. So the Jackfish get on the board. They strand a runner, and it's 1-0 Welland through 3.5 as we head to the bottom of the fourth inning here at Athletic Kulture Stadium. Danielle May Real Estate, supporting the Barrie Baycats and ready to help with all of your real estate questions. What is your home worth? Should you sell now or wait? Danielle is dedicated to your success. The next time you think real estate, think Danielle May.
Fourth inning of play brought to you by Vintage Throne Barber Lounge, redefining gentlemen, one community at a time.
Barrie Baycats will go back to the top of the order here in the fourth inning. They've only sent 3 men to the plate all 3 innings. They have 2 hits, though. Noel McGarry Doyle singled and was caught stealing. Noah Hull singled and was erased on a double play. So Lair has faced the minimum through 3, despite giving up 2 hits. Noel McGarry Doyle with a called strike on the inside corner.
Yeah, I noticed that after the 3rd inning, you don't often see a pitcher give up 2 hits through 3 and only have to face the minimum.
That one bounces up to the dirt. I heard during the commercial break our 50-50 draw is approaching $1,100 here this afternoon, which is a pretty good sizable amount. And you mentioned, well, there's a good chance a Welland fan might end up taking that home today, and maybe deservedly so. I mean, they helped us pack the park here today with those green jerseys and a lot of energy down that third base side. Two and one the count to McGarry Doyle. Fouls that one away. I know you keep an eye on my Instagram stories. Did you see that I caught a hot dog at Welland Stadium in Game 3? Yeah, they do a late inning hot dog toss. And I caught the hot dog, and I'm like, am I allowed to keep this? I'm a Baycats fan. They're not supposed to throw these to Baycats fans, are they?
Were you wearing a Baycats hat?
No, Game 3 I wasn't. Game 1 I was. Game 3 I was wearing my NYPD hat because it was 9/11. So yeah, maybe they saw me and they're like, okay, he doesn't look like a Baycat fan. I guess we can toss him a hot dog. I don't know.
So you fooled him, is what you're saying.
I ate it. I ate the hot dog.
They got good hot dogs there.
Debated whether or not I should give it away, but I always give, if I catch a foul ball at a game, I give it to a kid or somebody else. I never feel right keeping a foul ball. So, but I figured a hot dog I can eat. Take care of this myself.
They got good hot dogs over at the pond. I got a couple.
Not bad. Better than average, I will say.
I was quite pleased.
Yeah. We've had a lot of concession food the last few days, haven't we? You and I. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Fly ball, shallow left field, kind of in that Bermuda Triangle, but he'd make the running catch as Brandon Hoope. He had Green and Luther going back as well in case he needed help, but he was able to take it himself. One away.
Yeah, McGarry Doyle didn't get a ton on that. Looks like it went off, the inside part of the bat, just under the barrel. And, going the other way with it. A bit late on a fastball from Lair, but tough play for that left side of the defense.
So the Hernandez brothers now, Brandon and Francisco, try to get something going here for the Barrie Baycats. The bats have been quiet in this game so far, just 2 hits. Nobody has reached second base safely yet. Some nice pitching so far by Euclides Lair.
What do you think back to Game 3? The Baycats didn't have a hit until that Clayton Keys home run to lead off the 6th. Teodoro Ortega was perfect through 4.
Yeah, he got through the order twice without any issues at all. Just breezed through that Barrie lineup. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Brandon Hernandez waits. Lair's pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. 2 down in the inning.
You can tell at this point now Lair's starting to bump up the velocity a little bit. Tend to see that with a lot of starting pitchers. Frank Garces, no different. You kind of let things ride in the first couple innings, and then you got to build up, to get yourself over the hump when you're struggling to have that fatigue in the late innings. Don't imagine Lair's going to be have an Ortega-like start going 8 innings, but definitely trying to give the Jackfish all he can to give them a 3-1 series lead.
Certainly doing more than they could ask so far. Francisco Hernandez thinking about bunting just to draw in the infield, give him something to think about here.
Well, Barrie only had 3 hits total in Game 3.
Inside corner for a strike, 1-1. Well, I referenced it earlier in the game, and it is pretty amazing. The Baycats, as well as they've played through the postseason here, still with just 4 hitters in the playoffs, hitting .240 or better. Manager Josh Matlow certainly hopeful for a much more balanced attack from this lineup.
Yeah, I think a lot of that was, staying with Noah Macabrota. He probably is the biggest case of this, but the offensive struggles in the first round of the playoffs. But we're also comparing it to last year, which last year was an anomaly for this Baycats team. They had they averaged 18 hits per game in the first round and kind of carried that offensive energy through the entire playoffs. Very different playoff this year.
Swing and a miss by Hernandez, strike 3. 2 strikeouts. Both Hernandez brothers go down. And a tidy 3-up, 3-down inning for Lear in the 4th. Julius will call innings 5 and 6 for us when we return. It's 1-0 Welland here in Game 4 of the IBL Championship Series. The Collingwood Brewery at 10 Sanford Fleming, producing delicious lagers, ales, and seltzers since 2014. The proud home of the Baycats Brew. Check out their retail shop and tap room, and select products at the LCBO, beer store, and grocery stores. Cheers, and go Baycats!
What if a thrift store could change lives? Barrie Families Unite is making it happen. Essential needs support for those families in our community who need it most. Charity gives. Dignity empowers.
Step up to the plate at Park Place. The latest fashion, delicious dining, exciting entertainment. Hungry after the game? Stop by one of their patios or grab a sweet treat for a grand slam of flavors to satisfy every craving. Park Place, where every visit is a home run.
We're into the 5th inning at Athletic Kulture Stadium, Game 4 of the IBL Finals. Welland leads Barrie 1-0 in this game, 2-1 in the series. Brandon Hoope to lead off the 5th inning for Welland against Frank Garces, who allowed an unearned run in the 4th inning. A sacrifice fly by Brendan Luther has the Jackfish out in front thus far. First pitch to Hoope, he swings and misses. He got Welland on the board in Game 3 on Thursday night, and inside the park home run, which really had the pond rocking when he slid into home plate. On the ground to second, Francisco Hernandez scoops, and throwing to first is in time for out number 1.
Right fielder number 10, Mateo Porcelata.
Well, the last time either team led by more than a run in this series was Game 2 when the Jackfish jumped out to a 2-0 lead in the first, but that was short-lived. Barrie scoring a run in the bottom of the 3rd inning, and ever since then, it's been 1 run or tied through the rest of Game 2 and all of Game 3.
Even if you look back at Game 1, no team has had a lead larger than 2 runs. First pitch to Mateo Porcelata outside.
Well, we mentioned in the intro, a lot of fans expected right from the get-go these teams are going to fight tooth and nail. I'm not sure anybody expected 3 consecutive 1-run games, but that's what we've had so far. And if you love drama, boy, this has been a series full of dramatic finishes so far.
1-1 to Mateo Porcelata. A little check swing, roller up to shortstop. Brandon Hernandez throws on the run. He can't make the play. It's going to be an infield hit for Mateo Porcelata as Matt Cabrera couldn't pick it out of the dirt. Speed too much. And kind of a smart swing if he was trying to do that intentionally to get on.
Yeah, I really like that piece of hitting by Porcelata, who's been struggling at the plate, hitting just 135 in the postseason coming into today. Gets it done, not with a bunt, but just a very kind of half swing, seeing that ball right onto the bat, and rather than just deadening it right in front of home plate, he was able to hit it hard enough and with his speed get him to first.
Well, his struggles are why he's moved to the 9 spot. But also to have a hitter of his caliber in the 9 spot to turn it over to this man here, Jonah Weisner, that's also really valuable for the Jackfish. Big lead for him. He goes in the first pitch. Throw down from Plumpton is not in time. Easy stolen base for Porchelato.
And he's a perfect 3 for 3 in playoff steal attempts. Despite his struggles getting on, he's been able to get to second. 26 stolen bases in 36 games in the regular season.
3 for him now in the playoffs. Weisner hit .516 in the regular season with runners in scoring position. So again, having runners on to turn the lineup back over to your leadoff hitter who's been so good putting balls in play.
That's exactly what the Baycats really have been lacking, have been needing to do. Getting the bottom part of the order on. The top part of the order has been hitting very well. McGarry Doyle and the Hernandez brothers specifically.
Weisner takes that one low. Garces starts him off 2-0. With Porcelato's speed, you wouldn't be surprised to see him attempt to take third here.
No, you wouldn't. 26 steals tied with Weisner for the lead in the regular season.
Doesn't go here. The pitch from Garces. Catches the plate for strike 1.
Jackfish historically very aggressive on the bases. They like to force throws and keep the runners moving around out there.
That's the thing. When you force things on defense, when you get runners in motion, it forces the defense to have to make up a play, and that's where mistakes typically come from. Porcelato goes. The throw down from Plumpton to third. Not in time.
Well, you called it. We weren't surprised at all, and Porcelato got a great jump despite a nice throw by Plumpton.
Jaco had to reach back into fair territory and try for a swipe tag, but by that point, Porcelato was already in there. So another run 90 feet away for the Jackfish as Frank Garces is going to talk to his second baseman. Infield in now for Barrie with the runner on third, 1 out. Weisner 0 for 2 with a strikeout. 2-2 from Garces. That one's into left field, a base hit for Weisner. Porcelato comes in to score. It's 2-0 Welland.
Well, that is textbook baseball right there. Drawn in infield and a ground ball just between short and third. Found that seam to drive in the run, and a big run for the Jackfish as they now lead 2-0. All that created by Porcelato stealing second and then third to bring those infielders in.
And smart hitting by both of them. You saw the check swing infield hit by Porcelato to put him in that situation to steal bases. And then Weisner taking advantage of the defense, going the other way on a high fastball, it looked like, from Garces. And he's a threat to steal as well. As you mentioned, him and Porcelato tied for the team lead in stolen bases. He's got 7 so far in the playoffs. A big lead, doesn't go here. Popped up bunt from Morello, a dive, and a catch by Hernandez. But diving back into first is Weisner. What a catch from the shortstop, Brandon Hernandez, for out number 2.
Not only a spectacular diving catch, but he leapt up and thought about trying to double off the runner at first. But to his credit, Weisner hadn't gone too far off the bag, was able to get back in time, or he could have doubled him off.
You can see Morello upset with himself. That's a play at this level, you know, guys like him have to make, getting a bunt down instead of a high pop-up like that was. Don't see that too often.
Here's nice to see that effort by Hernandez as well after that wild throw an inning earlier. Cost the Baycats a run, maybe helping to save one there.
Fouled off by Mullen in the first pitch, who's 1 for 2, scored on the sacrifice fly last inning. But yeah, Hernandez had a long way to go for that. I think he was playing roughly where he is now, on the lip of that outfield grass in the shortstop position, having to come all the way in. Weisner goes. The pitch to Mullen is dropped by Plumpton, who can't make a play. Counts 1-1. So another runner in scoring position against Frank Garces here in the 5th.
Well, we said it a few moments ago, but the more aggressive you are, the more you're going to force those dropped balls and bad throws, and that's what the Welland Jackfish do so effectively.
1-1 to Mullen. Pitch is just outside, 2-1. Opponents against Frank Garces in the regular season with runners in scoring position hit .250. Lead from Weisner at second, doesn't go. The 2-1. There's a drive out to deep left field. Tristan Clark has to go back. It's over his head off the wall. Weisner comes in to score. Clark can't pick it up cleanly. Nonetheless, it's a double. An RBI one at that for Robert Mullen, 3-0 Welland.
Well, Clark had quite a ways to go to his left, and I think that ball drifted back maybe a little bit farther than he expected. We do have a bit of a breeze blowing from right to left and out now, so that ball might have carried on him just a little bit. It was going to be an awfully tough catch for him to make if he had got there.
Largest lead for anyone in the series. Now 3-0 for the Jackfish. And still trying to tack on more. Runner in scoring position again with 2 out. This is Jake Sanford, who's 2 for 2.
Yeah, if you're Barrie, you just need to focus on getting these hitters out one at a time. Don't worry about the base runners. And they're going to send Sanford to first to put him aboard.
3rd time he's been intentionally walked in this series.
Reached base twice today, and they wanted no part of him in this situation, so Barrett will bat now.
Barrett's 0 for 2, struck out looking his last time. Sanford at first, Mullen at second. As Garces steps off.
Yeah, the Jackfish have to be smelling blood here, even though there are 2 outs. Another base hit or 2, and you can really build yourself a nice 4 or 5 run lead. And that'll be the first time either team has enjoyed that in this series.
Barrett 2 for 9 in his career against Garces, including today. Takes a first pitch strike. The 0-1 on the ground, a little slow roller up to first. Macabrota has to come and get it. No play at first. It's an infield hit for Barrett, who dives in, and the bases are loaded.
Well, it was a very weakly hit ball, and nobody really made much of an effort for that. Frank came off the mound. He kind of seemed to think maybe he thought somebody else might get to it. Macabrota took a couple steps towards it, and it just died in the grass. Not sure if a play could have been made on that anyways, but not a whole lot of effort to even get to that ball by the Baycats.
It took such a sharp hop in front of home plate off the bat of Barrett, and you mentioned how slow it was rolling. But again, not much of an effort from the right side of the Baycats defense or Garces, who didn't even come off the mound really.
Yeah, I mean, you really would like to see at least some effort from your players to at least, try to attempt to play there. Again, you got a speedy guy going down that first baseline, but everybody just kind of gave up on it. Now you got a bases loaded situation.
Would have been a tough play even if Macabrota got to the ball with some time to spare. The infield was playing almost all the way back, all 4 of them, near that outfield grass. Here comes Brendan Luther, another chance to break this open. Drove in the first run of the game and now has the bases loaded in front of him with 2 out.
This is probably the most important at bat for Welland in this series so far. 3-0 lead, chance to get more here with the bases loaded.
Luther hit an even .500 in the regular season with the bases loaded. Takes a first pitch strike. Keep in mind, Luther in game 2 left the bases loaded twice. He was the final out of that 1st and 7th inning, in which Welland strand 3 in each.
Yeah, plenty of wasted scoring opportunities in game 2 for the Jackfish.
The 0-1, he grounds it over to first. Macabrota will take it. Toss to Garces in time for out number 3. Welland adds 2 more, a strand 3, and have a 3-0 lead as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning here in game 4 of the IBL Finals.
fans from 400 Chrysler and Barrie Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. This year, we are the community partners of the Barrie Baycats. Community is near and dear to our hearts here at the dealerships and one of our core values, so we can support local and shop local.
Visit Alliance Billiards and Sports in the northeast end of Barrie. A fun, friendly family environment offering pool, darts, karaoke, and live entertainment. Enjoy a large variety of delicious food and drinks on the patio. You'll come as a stranger and leave as a friend. We go to the bottom of the fifth inning. It's brought to you by One-Eyed Jack Barrie. Bring your same-day Baycats tickets before or after a game and get 10% off your bill.
Julius Hern along with Ben Davy. Game 4 of the IBL Finals. Welland Jackfish up 3-0 now after adding 2 in the top half of the fifth inning. Starter Euclidus Lair he's faced the minimum through 4 innings.
Yeah, somebody needs to step up for the Baycats, and Nolan Macabrota has led this team on and off the field in so many ways throughout the entire 2025 season.
First pitch from Lair just outside. Lair has allowed 2 hits, but both of those runners eliminated on the base paths, and he's struck out 6 through 4 innings. The 1-0 fouled away.
One change that I can see Macabrota has made already is the pant legs. Normally he's got those bottom pant legs below the cleats. Actually has holes cut into the bottom or ripped into the bottom of his pants for his cleats to stick through. He's got them just below the knees here today.
Takes that one outside, 2-1. So Lair with a bit of an added lead to work with here. Foul back to the screen by Macabrota.
Eight strikeouts in the last 3 innings of work by Lair. He has been fooling these Baycats hitters all afternoon.
2-2. That one's in the dirt inside. Macabrota has worked the count full. Tristan Clark awaits on deck. Payoff from Lair. Inside, ball 4. A clutch take there from Nolan Macabrota gives another leadoff base runner to Barrie. First walk issued by Lair this afternoon.
Well, you described it as a clutch take. I think that's exactly what that was for Macabrota. Struggling at the plate. Last thing you want to be in a situation where you're stuck in a 3-2 count with a bat frozen on your shoulder and a called third strike.
That's exactly what happened to him in the second inning. Bit of a different approach this time around, and he's on for Tristan Clark, who also struck out his first time up. He fouls that one away on the right side. Thomas Green playing a bit shallow at third. Clark another whiff on an outside pitch.
Yeah, Lair's moving that ball around all over the place, and the Baycat hitters are having a really hard time picking it up today.
That's that 2-seam fastball that gets outside. Another one, he leaves it. Manages to stay in the count 1-2.
Yeah, they appealed it first, but Clark was able to pull his swing back.
Lair not even looking at the runner Macabrota. Here's the 1-2. It's inside.
Let's see if the Baycats become a little more patient here, just laying off those, especially the outside pitches that they've been chasing all afternoon. Try to get some base runners here, down 3-0.
2-2. That was a little chopper up the middle, slow roller to second. The throw into first, it's a double play. 6-3. Just like that, Lair's still on his streak of facing the minimum.
Yeah, an easy play for Luther. That couldn't have been hit in a worse spot for Clark, as Luther just had to stand there and wait for the ball to reach him. Handled an easy roller, stepped on the bag, which was right there, and made the clean throw to first.
So once again, Hayden Jaco will step into the batter's box with no one on. First pitch from Lair is called strike. Two hits and an error for Barrie. That's all they've put up on the board, as Jaco takes that one just outside.
Yeah, and the hit totals have been shrinking with each game. The Baycats 13 hits in game 1, 8 hits in game 2, and then in game 3 managed just 3 hits. 2 this afternoon so far on Cleeby's Lair.
Jackfish pitching has done so well, exactly what manager Brian Essery has wanted out of his club. That one fouled up, popped up. Mullen will not have room to make a play. It's into the bleachers. A lot of 2-strike counts for these Baycats hitters. There's a 2-2 just outside. Lair doesn't get the call from Michael Guthrow, doesn't like it.
Jaco didn't like it either, and that one was pretty close.
3-2, 2 out. Called strike 3. Jaco thought he had first base, but Lair gets his 7th K of the game, and he's still faced the minimum through 5 innings. 3-0 Welland as we head to the 6th inning, game 4 of the IBL Finals on Baycats TV.
The only North Barrie Market, your go-to for homemade meals, catering service, and the freshest locally sourced meat. Get ready for an unforgettable barbecue experience with Barrie Best Barbecue coming soon. All at North Barrie Market, 580 Bayfield.
Thinking about doing a renovation but don't know where to find the best prices and quality? Go to Reno Liquidation Depot, where you'll find vanities, flooring, toilets, exterior doors, and so much more. Visit Reno Liquidation Depot today.
Step up to the plate at Park Place. The latest fashion, delicious dining, exciting entertainment. Hungry after the game? Stop by one of their patios or grab a sweet treat for a grand slam of flavors to satisfy every craving. Park Place, where every visit is a home run.
3-0 Welland, top of the 6th inning. Julius Hern along with Ben Davy.
The third baseman, number 1.
Thomas Green to lead it off. The only batter for Welland not to step up to the plate in that 5th inning. Welland scored 2, stranded, the bases loaded. First pitch from Frank Garces is up high.
And that is Frank's 73rd pitch of the ball game here this afternoon. Out for his 6th inning of work.
Well, nobody throwing in the Baycats bullpen at this point.
He's had base runners to deal with all 5 innings.
It's almost like even though a lot of runners have reached against Garces, as that one just misses outside, you could pencil in Garces for 7 or 8 innings, even though he's had these a lot of hits off him at this point. 8 hits for Welland thus far. That one up the middle, running play. It's off the glove and booted by Francisco Hernandez. Second error of the ball game for the Baycats. The leadoff man is aboard for Welland.
Yeah, it's been a tough game defensively for the Hernandez brothers, who made a couple of very uncharacteristic mistakes out there and a couple of costly ones as well. A throwing error by Brandon Hernandez led to a run in the 4th, and then a misplayed ground ball there by brother Francisco to put the leadoff man aboard in the 6th.
Hernandez, Francisco that is, was trying to make that play on the run, was on his front foot when the ball went off the heel of his glove. First pitch to Hupe is down low.
Frank Garces gave up 5 earned runs in 8 innings in game 1, but once he got past the 3rd, threw 5 shutout innings after that. So there was no concern at all about how long he was left in the game.
That one's up high, 2-0. Lately, Garces hasn't been able to get ahead in counts early. Over the last couple innings, he's gotten a lot of 1-0, 2-0 counts. Uncharacteristic of him. 2-0. Fly ball, center field, looks to be playable. Noel McGarry Doyle settles under it, makes the catch. Tagging from first, having to stop and go back was Green. Looked like he was trying to bluff a throw there out of McGarry Doyle, but heads back to first.
Yeah, I don't know what Green was thinking. There was no way he was going to fool anybody by trying to tag up for second, and then he lost his footing. His left foot kind of slipped a little bit, and he could have got burned on that one quickly.
He must have been expecting that McGarry Doyle was just going to lob it back into the infield. Where in a case like that, yes, that's heads-up base running, but still a risk in itself. Number 9 hitter Mateo Porcelato up. Singled in the 5th and stole 2 bags. Swings through that pitch, the throw down to second. Nobody covering at the moment, and it's an easy steal for Thomas Green. Nobody covering the bag at second. Having to rush in to try and catch that ball was Brandon Hernandez, who couldn't get the tag on in time.
Yeah, Brandon darted in at the last minute. Not sure if that caused maybe a moment of hesitation from Plumpton as well, because you want to make sure there's somebody down there if you're going to throw the ball.
So now another runner in scoring position for Welland, and less than 2 out. 0-1 to Porcelato inside.
I don't know what the system is for the Hernandez brothers, but usually there's communication between the middle infielders. Sometimes it's an open mouth or a closed mouth behind the glove as far as who's going to cover the bag on a stolen base attempt. Whatever happened there, they got things crossed up, and for a moment, nobody was there.
Line drive, center field, coming on is McGarry Doyle. Makes a running catch. They have a chance to make the double play. And they do! Thomas Green doubled off at second base to end the 6th inning. A heads-up throw by Noel McGarry Doyle. And it ends another threat. In the top of the 6th inning, we go to the bottom half. Still 3-0 Welland on Baycats TV.
Danielle May Real Estate, supporting the Barrie Baycats and ready to help with all of your real estate questions. What is your home worth? Should you sell now or wait? Danielle is dedicated to your success. The next time you think real estate, think Danielle May. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning for Moving.ca. 2 small men with big hearts moving. Your original Canadian 2-man movers. When you think 2 men, think with big hearts. Your Canadian choice.
Along with Ben Davy, I'm Julius Hern, and the Baycats want to score some runs in this game. They got to have more than 4 batters step up to the plate in an inning.
Usually.
Euclides Lair has faced the minimum through 5 innings despite allowing 2 hits and a walk.
We mentioned there have been a lot of solo home runs, but the Baycats haven't even had one of those to get on the board with today.
Starts Noah Hall with a changeup outside.
6 of the 7 home runs have been solo shots so far. Baycats could use one here just simply to get on the board.
A 1-0 fouled away by Hall. Just saw Pedro De Los Santos head to the bullpen. You all know how good he's been in this series. That kind of that X factor for this Jackfish team out of the bullpen.
His arm just never seems to wear down.
1-1 outside.
That double play to end the top of the 6th could be huge for the Baycats. Let's see if the offense can respond. You really want to see your lineup pick up a little bit of energy off a nice defensive play like that. Heads up throw in by Noel McGarry-Doyle on the fly out to get Travis Green, who...
On the ground is second, Jonah Weisner with an easy 4-3 putout for out number 1.
You thought Green maybe had lost track of how many outs there were in the inning. He certainly was a long way off of second base for a shallow fly ball like that. They were able to double him off before he could get back to the bag.
He was well over halfway to third base and in motion. So I think he thought that maybe that ball was going to drop, but that line drive carried right to Noel McGarry-Doyle. If you're a leadoff hitter, you should always know how many outs there are. Clayton Keys takes the first pitch for a strike.
Now we saw what looked like maybe a little bit of a potential base running blunder prior to that too, where looked like he was trying to draw a throw to second and slipped and nearly could have got hung up between first and second as well. He got back to the bag on that one, but not a good inning of base running for Thomas Green.
Clayton Keys has fallen behind 0-2 to Lair and calls time. Gave a kind of half offer at that last pitch. Ended up being called a strike. Down 0-2, here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. Second strikeout of the day by Clayton Keys and number 8 on the game for Lair.
Catcher number 44, Tyler Clinching.
Pretty incredible to think the Baycats have only had, we're in the bottom of the 6th here. Baycats have only had 3 base runners all afternoon, 2 singles and a walk. Twice those base runners were erased on a double play. Once the base runner was erased caught stealing. That was Noel McGarry-Doyle, the first Baycat batter of the ball game.
Tyler Plumpton grounded into a double play to end the 3rd. No opportunity for that here with nobody on.
This has to be perhaps the most frustrating 2/3 of a game for the Baycats offensively.
Grounder right back to Lair, who makes the easy throw to first. And another 1-2-3 inning for Euclides Lair. 3-0 Jackfish through 6. The Baycats offense stifled here so far. We go to the 7th inning. Ben Davy back on the mic for you.
The Collingwood Brewery at 10 Sanford Fleming, producing delicious lagers, ales, and seltzers since 2014. The proud home of the Baycats Brew. Check out their retail shop and tap room, and select products at the LCBO, beer store, and grocery stores. Cheers, and go Baycats!
What if a thrift store could change lives? Barrie Families Unite is making it happen. Essential needs support for those families in our community who need it most. Charity gives. Dignity empowers.
Top of the 7th inning. Welland looking to add to a 3-0 lead here in Game 4. 7-game IBL Championship Series for the Jack and Lynn Dominico Cup, which will go to the victor of this best of 7. Welland leading 2-1. Baycats trying to tie it up, take it back to Welland for Game 5 tomorrow. Jackfish looking to hold on this lead and potentially clinch tomorrow in front of their home fans at Welland Stadium. Frank Garces back out for his 7th inning of work. He needs a quick 1-2-3 7th here to get that Baycat offense back up there. They have struggled this afternoon. Just 2 hits off Euclides Lair. Baycat offense has been stone cold silent for 6 innings today.
You know, it's pretty incredible. You mentioned in the commercial break to me off air that, you know, the first game of the playoffs for Barrie against Toronto, they only had, I think it was 3 or 4 hits through 8 innings. They ended up winning that game, got a few hits in the 9th. Noah Hull comes in to score. But it's looking like a similar type of case. But at this point, they have hits on the board, but they haven't left any runners on.
1-2 pitch. That's down and away. 2-2. Well, certainly this lead is within reach. 3-0. You got 9 outs to work with here. And again, Frank needs a quick 3 up, 3 down 7th here to get that lineup back up there. The scoring has been light for the Baycats so far in this series. It's a 2-2 count. Jonah Weisner at the plate. Gio Morello on deck. Here comes the crowd behind Frank Garces as he winds up and delivers. And that one's low. Full count. Baycat bullpen looks quiet. And we mentioned Pedro de los Santos tossing in the Welland bullpen, still doing some throwing, but he has to be ready soon.
I think
He's
Danny
been up for a
Howitt's
while.
throwing now. Looks like Danny Howitt now, another left-hander.
Payoff pitch to Weisner. Ball 4, he draws a walk.
Looks like Garces knew that was going to be ball 4 out of his hand. You got the throw back from Plumpton, was nodding back. And again, Weisner, not a guy you want to give a free 90 feet to, because, you know, Josh Matlow told me this after game 2, how many walks the Jackfish drew, 10 of them in that game. You know, when you walk that many batters on this Jackfish team, you're essentially giving them doubles with how well they run.
That's the case more often than not. Weisner with a healthy lead here as Garces looks in. Gio Morello at the plate. Weisner does not go. Morello bunts down the third base line. Barehand throw from Jaco. Not in time. 2 on for the Jackfish.
Perfect bunt there from Gio Morello, and for him, you know, that's got to feel good. Tried to put a bunt down in that 5th inning, and he popped it up and ended up, you know, getting out on a diving catch by Brandon Hernandez. So to have a bunt of that quality after one that was so disastrous a couple innings ago, that's got to feel good.
Perhaps the most dangerous hitter up now for the Jackfish, Robert Mullen. He has reached base all 3 times in this game. A single, a double, reached on an error and scored. Can give Welland a healthy lead with a big swing here. They're up 3-0 in the 7th. Garces steps off. Weisner at second, Morello at first. Jackfish out hitting Barrie 9-2. And up 3-0. Time is called again. I think that was Mullen.
Garces taking quite a long time in between pitches. He had to reset a couple times.
So the gamesmanship here before a pitch is even thrown. Looked like Mullen might have been thinking about bunting.
Everybody clap your hands.
Runners go. Pitch is high. The throw to second. The tag is not there. As Morello got his leg in behind the tag. And Weisner took third. Interesting decision by Plumpton to make the throw to second.
Very interesting. If I were Plumpton, knowing that Morello usually a bit faster, you probably would try to throw to third, also just a shorter distance. But I think Francisco Hernandez lucky that he was able to pick that off the hop. because if that ball gets past him, that's easily scoring 1, maybe 2 if Morello catches on in time.
Yeah, with 2 runners in motion, 9 times out of 10, you're going to make that throw to third, not second, but Plumpton making the decision to try to get Morello instead of Wisner. This one hits to right field. Catch made by Keys. Runner tags. And the Jackfish lead 4-0. So an out brings home a run. And again, that aggressive base running by the Jackfish paying off in terms of run production.
The DH number 13.
Offensively, that's the X factor of this team. You look at a guy like Robert Mullen, you see all the power numbers that he had this year, but it's the ability to play small ball, manufacture runs. That's what's made this Jackfish team so dominant in the regular season with that really high run differential.
Swing and a miss by Sanford.
Bit of an awkward swing there from Sanford. I think he realized mid-swing that was going to break down and away.
A double, a single, and an intentional walk today. 4-0 Welland, top of the 7th. Pitch from Garces. Just missed on that one, 1-1. Jackfish fans here at Athletic Kulture Stadium have pretty much taken over the entire section of seats just past the Welland dugout, between the dugout and bullpen. That's a sea of green, and they've been whooping it up this afternoon. Road Warriors making the trip up Highway 400 here on this Saturday afternoon. Hoping to celebrate a Jackfish win and bring this thing home for a chance to wrap it up at home tomorrow afternoon. The rest of the park has been pretty quiet. 2 balls, 1 strike. Pitch from Garces. Fly ball, left center field. Clark to his left, reaches up. It's over his head. Goes all the way to the wall. Morello will score easily, and in with a double is Jake Sanford. It's a 5-0 Jackfish lead.
So much fade on that ball into the gap off the bat of Jake Sanford. We've seen Tristan Clark make some great catches in left field, but that one would have been so hard to get. Would have had to make a leap on the run, kind of over the shoulder. So difficult. It gets over his head, an easy extra base hit, and another run for Welland. They kind of broke it and open at this point.
Well, Frank Garces had kept the damage minimal until this inning, but now a 5-0 lead, and Frank has not been his sharpest self here today. Baycat bats have gotten to him. 10 hits in this game.
See Brad Grieveson now throwing in the Barrie bullpen.
5-0 Jackfish. Grayson Barrett at the plate. To second, Hernandez gloves it. Throws in time. 2 out in the inning, Sanford to third. And here's Brendan Luther.
The shortstop, number 20, Brendan Luther.
You wonder if the fact that the Baycat offense is struggling so much makes it a little bit harder for Frank being out there on the mound, knowing the margin of error is so slim, having to keep this game so low scoring and so close. And
it's also no real chance to catch his breath. And you get out of a tough inning like you did a couple innings ago. Didn't really have much time to
second, Hernandez to first in time. A couple of ground balls to second and the inning, but the damage is done. Welland scoring 2 in the top of the 7th to build a 5-0 lead over Barrie here at Athletic Kulture Stadium.
Visit Alliance Billiards and Sports in the northeast end of Barrie. A fun, friendly family environment offering pool, darts, karaoke, and live entertainment. Enjoy a large variety of delicious food and drinks on the patio. You'll come as a stranger and leave as a friend.
Chrissy Fans from Chrysler and Barrie Jeep Ram. This year, we are the community partners of the Barrie Baycats. Community is near and dear to our hearts here at the dealerships and one of our core values, so we can support local and shop local.
Seventh inning of play brought to you by Sleeman Beer. Real ones know.
Well, the story of this ball game has been that man on the mound, Euclides Lair. He has faced the minimum through 6. Baycats with just 2 hits off him. And it's back to the top of the order for Noel McGarry-Doyle. You know it's been a rough afternoon when you're the leadoff hitter and you're coming to the plate for the 3rd time to lead off the 7th inning. Line drive left field, base hit. Might be 2. Noel digging hard around first. And he's into second with a double.
First time all day long the Baycats have had a runner in scoring position. Now Noel McGarry-Doyle, 2 of those 3 hits for Barrie. You kind of had to think it was going to come from someone in this top of the order who, as we mentioned, have really been the only ones consistently producing for the Baycats throughout these playoffs.
Well, maybe the start to this 7th inning that the Baycats needed, getting the leadoff man aboard, the hot-hitting Brandon Hernandez, with Francisco to follow. Both Hernandez brothers are 0 for 2 so far today. Hernandez with a bunt down the first base line, and the tag is applied for the outs. Nice job by Barrett. Didn't give up on that ball. Thought for a moment that they might take their chances to see if it went foul, but Barrett played it and got the tag just in the nick of time.
I think it got to the point where if you're in the shoes of Grayson Barrett there, he sees Hernandez approach him in his peripheral vision, and at that point he has to make the decision to pick that ball up or not, and with the base runner within arm's reach to tag him, he had to do it.
So my obvious question, Julius, is are you surprised the Baycats are bunting down 5-0?
They need something at this point.
I agree. You've got 9 precious outs, though, and you just traded one of them for 90 feet on the bases. This one gets away. Well, Barrie gets a run. So perhaps that's why Brandon Hernandez was bunting. Still a long way to go. It's 5-1 Jackfish. But now the bases are empty, and it's kind of a clean inning for Lair, so.
You got to imagine if Jackfish weren't able to put those 2 runs up in the top half of the inning, this would be a much tighter inning. If you're the Euclides Lair on the mound, you probably feel, much more pressure in a now what would have been a 2-run game, now a 4-run game.
Broken bat, shatters in about 3 pieces. The throw to Lair, covering in time for the out. What a job by Barrett and Lair to get the out. 2 down in the inning.
Shards that bat flying. Obviously that looked like a 2-seam fastball got in on Hernandez and jammed him. And if he got barrel on that ball, that was going, that probably would have been right at Brendan Luther. If he got it in the air, it probably would have been in the gap. But instead, with the bat breaking, it goes kind of the other way, and at Grayson Barrett.
So the Baycats squeeze out a run with a double, a bunt to sacrifice him over to third on a wild pitch. Gets them on the board, down 5-1. Just 7 outs left to work with here, though, down by 4. A quick conference on the mound as Mullen will run back. Again, certainly the Baycats getting on the board is a positive, but it sort of gives Lair the chance to just settle down and just pitch with the bases empty as he's done most of the afternoon here. High fly ball, that'll stay in the park. Center field. Easy catch for Gio Morello. So the Baycats go quietly after a double by Noel McGarry-Doyle. He came in to score the only run so far for Barrie. We've played 7. It's 5-1 Jackfish.
Step up to the plate at Park Place. The latest fashion, delicious dining, exciting entertainment. Hungry after the game? Stop by one of their patios or grab a sweet treat for a grand slam of flavors to satisfy every craving. Park Place, where every visit is a home run. The only North Barrie Market, your go-to for homemade meals, catering service, and the freshest locally sourced meat. Get ready for an unforgettable barbecue experience with Barrie Best Barbecue coming soon. All at North Barrie Market, 580 Bayfield.
Thinking about doing a renovation but don't know where to find the best prices and quality? Go to Reno Liquidation Depot, where you'll find vanities, flooring, toilets, exterior doors, and so much more. Visit Reno Liquidation Depot today.
Top of the 8th inning, Athletic Kulture Stadium. The Welland Jackfish are 6 outs away from taking a 3-1 series lead. This best of 7 IBL Championship Series, which heads back to Welland Stadium tomorrow afternoon. 4:05 game time. Our friends Alec Murray and Reese Dumani will have the call on Jackfish TV on YouTube. Hopefully we get a good contingent of Baycat fans down there for the game. Some road warriors to cheer on the Baycats in what will be an important game either way tomorrow. First pitch swinging, and it's a pop-up. Hernandez calling for it, and Francisco takes it one away. So Green retired. Here's Brandon Hoope. Just joining us, the Baycats' only run coming in the top half of this inning. A double by Noel McGarry-Doyle, advanced on a sac bunt by Brandon Hernandez, and then coming in to score on a wild pitch. That has been it off Euclides Lair, who has faced one more than the minimum. 22 batters in 7 innings. That is outstanding work. Swing and a miss by Hoope.
Well, it's crazy to think the Jackfish offense, they have 10 hits off of Garces today, but they've left 7 on. Baycats have 3 hits and a run. They haven't left a runner on. You don't see that very often.
Just one of those afternoons for Barrie, just a real shortage of base runners. Hoope keeps the at-bat alive. Mateo Porcelato on deck. Hoope today 0 for 3. Pitch from Garces. Missed low and away, 1-2. Still a packed house here at Athletic Kulture Stadium. No one's gone anywhere on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. They're hunkering down right to the end. Here's the pitch. Line drive to short. Into the glove of Hernandez on one bounce. Makes the throw, and it's in time for the out.
Bit of a weird decision there from Hernandez to wait on that instead of coming and charge the line drive. Took a couple steps in, but an absolute laser beam of a throw ends up getting the speedy Hoope and a bang-bang play at first.
Well, it's a little risky when you do that because you are at the mercy of whatever the bounce ends up being. And I was surprised, too. I thought he was going to try to catch that on a line. Worked out for him, though, and there's 2 out here in the 8th. Mateo Porcelato now. Barring a Baycat comeback here today, they would have to win 3 in a row to take this series. Tomorrow in Welland, Tuesday night back here, and then Thursday would be in Welland, Game 7. Pop up, left field. It's the shortstop pedaling back. Hernandez takes it. So a 3-up, 3-down eighth for Frank Garces. He's retired 5 in a row. Question is it too little, too late? Up to the Baycats offense now. 6 outs to work with. Trailing by 4 here at Athletic Kulture Stadium.
Thinking about doing a renovation, but don't know where to find the best prices and quality? Go to Reno Liquidation Depot, where you'll find vanities, flooring, toilets, exterior doors, and so much more. Visit Reno Liquidation Depot today.
What if a thrift store could change lives? Barrie Families Unite is making it happen. Essential needs support for those families in our community who need it most. Charity gives. Dignity empowers.
Eighth inning of play brought to you by United Way Simcoe Muskoka, making poverty unignorable. To learn how you can help, you can visit uwsimcoemuskoka.ca.
93 pitches for Jackfish starter Euclides Layer this afternoon. Do you think he goes the distance today?
I think if he can have a similar type of inning like he's had all game long, he's only had one base, like as you mentioned, last half inning, he's faced one more than the minimum. What more could you ask if you're Brian Essery?
Yeah, he's retired 8 of the last 9. Anytime you got that pitch count under 100 going into the 8th inning, you're in pretty good shape. Swing and a miss by Clark. I will say this, the Baycats dugout, surprisingly positive, down 4 runs, a lot of energy, a lot of chatter going on down there. They have, from what I can hear, have not given up on this game. Swing and a miss by Clark.
You know, you asked me if Layer can go the distance. There are quite a few bodies in that Welland bullpen. Saw Pedro De Los Santos and Danny Howitt throwing.
Fouled over the screen. De Los Santos has pitched all 3 games of this series so far in relief. Been an absolute workhorse for Brian Essery.
He's held the Baycats scoreless through 6 2/3 innings.
Closer Davy Mendez has thrown 1 pitch in this series, and that, of course, was the infamous walk-off home run by Francisco Hernandez. Essery walking back from the bullpen. Maybe he went down there just to take a look and get an update on how things are coming along, but they may not be needed today.
You know, and having the opportunity of standing on the Welland side, you know, throughout these finals and games in Welland, he walks down to the bullpen quite often.
2-2 count to Clark.
If he's got a message he wants to relay to his bullpen, he'll go down there himself and relay that in person.
Well, he's got 2 guys throwing right now.
That's Mendez and De Los Santos.
It's a double barrel activity. 2-2 count to Tristan Clark. Clark today 0 for 2. Just about everybody seems to be 0 for 2 with this Baycat lineup. Clark is now 1 for 3. Hits it to left field. He'll hold up. Wisely so, as that ball is fired in on a rocket by Brandon Hoope.
Brandon Hoope is such a strong left fielder, and we've seen a lot of those balls hit by Tristan Clark specifically get down the line in a fashion just like that. But Hoope's arm is so good, he's able to hold Clark to a single.
I think Clark well aware of that too. These players know well before the game what kind of outfield arms they're dealing with, and Clark did not want to risk that. Down 4 runs. Baycats need base runners in a big way here, and Jaco looked like he was squaring to bunt again. I questioned the decision of Brandon Hernandez bunting Noel McGarry Doyle in that 7th inning. The Baycats squeezed out a run, but this is not a situation to trade outs for bases. And Jaco swinging, shallow center field, and a sliding catch by Gio Morello. 1 out here in the 8th.
And, it's a good point, questioning that bunt by Hernandez back in the 7th because, obviously this is all in hindsight, but you look back at how that inning unfolded thereafter. McGarry Doyle gets to third base, and then a wild pitch scores him. If there's a wild pitch, and let's say Hernandez gets on with a single, moves McGarry Doyle to third instead of scoring him from second, there's still a runner on behind Lair even after the wild pitch.
First pitch swinging is Hall. And it'll be Hoope making the catch, 2 down. I mean, if it was a 3-0 game in that situation, sure, I would understand it, especially since you're just trying to get a run. Just trying to break that goose egg and get a straight number up there for yourself. But down 5-0, who knows if the inning would have gone differently? We'll never know. If ifs and buts were candies and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas, as they say. But as it turned out, Barrie got on the board, but still trail by 4 here. 4-run deficit, 4 outs to work with. Here's Clayton Keys.
It's just about keeping pressure on Lair.
Swing and a miss.
There's a changeup there from Lair. I think Keys saw it all the way, but late on the swing.
Baycats staying aggressive at the plate here. Lair's pitch count up just past 100 now. Tyler plumped it on deck. Count 2-2. If Keys can get on, the tying run is on deck. Stays alive.
I mean, Keys, you know him as an aggressive swinger, but his 2-strike approach has improved throughout the playoffs, despite, racking up the strikeout totals. Struck out 15 times now if you count the 2 in this game.
Here's the pitch. Fouled over to the Barrie dugout now. Each dugout with a foul ball in this at bat. Keys will try to put one in play here with a 2-2 count. Euclides Lair, the right-hander, delivers. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Baycats strand a runner in the 8th. 5-1 Welland as we go to the 9th. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV Barrie.
Visit Alliance Billiards and Sports in the northeast end of Barrie. A fun, friendly family environment offering pool, darts, karaoke, and live entertainment. Enjoy a large variety of delicious food and drinks on the patio. You'll come as a stranger and leave as a friend. The Collingwood Brewery at 10 Sanford Fleming, producing delicious lagers, ales, and seltzers since 2014. The proud home of the Baycats Brew. Check out their retail shop and tap room and select products at the LCBO, beer store, and grocery stores. Cheers and go Baycats!
Well, and Jackfish have built themselves their biggest lead of this game, and they will try to take the biggest lead in this series. If they can hang on to this 5-1 lead here as we go to the ninth, they'll get one more chance to add to it here. Against Baycat, right-handed reliever, Brad Grieveson.
Second time pitching in the postseason for Brad Grieveson. He's only had a third of an inning, and that was back in the first round against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Hasn't pitched against the Jackfish since last season.
Top of the order for Welland, Jonah Weisner showing bunt, pulls it back. Brad with 2 hits, 1 unearned run in that relief appearance in Toronto. A walk and a strikeout. Gets that one over for a strike, 1-1.
2/3 of an inning, pardon me, for Grieveson in these playoffs. 2 hits, a walk and a strikeout, an unearned run.
1-1 pitch to second, and the catch is made by Hernandez, 1 away.
Also playing right field now is James Anderson coming in for Clayton Keys. This telecast is presented by the authority of the Inter-County Baseball League and the Barrie Baycats Baseball Club. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent. Any rebroadcast, reproduction, or retransmission in any form is strictly prohibited.
Gio Morello to the plate for the Jackfish. 1 out here in the ninth. Looking ahead to the bottom of the ninth for Barrie, it'll be Tyler Plumpton, Noel McGarry-Doyle, and Brandon Hernandez. Jackfish up by 4. Looking for more here on Brad Grieveson. Morello today 1 for 4. Singled, stole a base, scored a run in the 7th inning. Morello was 1 for 3 in game 3 in Welland. Hits this one to deep left field. Clark going back at the wall, reaches up, makes the catch. Two down in the inning.
That's going to be a tough catch there for Tristan Clark. He saw that ball was carrying so much and slicing further and further toward the wall, and looked like he might have got spun around a little bit, but catches his composure and catches the ball along with it.
Flags are pretty quiet right now. Just a very, very light wind blowing in from right field. Grieveson's first pitch to Mullen is a called strike. Mullen has reached base 3 out of 4 times and drove in a run with a sac fly in the 7th. Productive afternoon for him. 5-1 well into the ninth. Brad Grieveson deals. Misses away. Count 2-1. Fouled off. 2-2. So 8 innings of work for Frank Garces on this Saturday afternoon. Jackfish getting 5 runs on 10 hits.
Only 4 of those earned for Garces, but that's twice in the series where the Jackfish will be able to put up 5 on the Baycats lefty.
0-2 from Grieveson on the way. Missed low.
Everybody clap your hands.
So it's a full count to Mullen. And he's aboard. A 2-out walk brings Jake Sanford to the dish.
Grieveson had Robert Mullen on a 1-2 count. Ends up losing him a couple pitches high and away, and Jake Sanford coming up, and we've seen earlier in this series, Mullen walked, Sanford drove him in with a home run.
Mullen a first, 2 out. Grieveson to Sanford. Swings through the first pitch, strike 1. Laid off that high pitch. Grieveson had 8 regular season relief appearances for Barrie. Struck out 11, walked just 2. He's behind here, 2-1. Grieveson likes to look quickly. Looks in for the sign from his trusted veteran catcher. 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. These two have such a good rapport, having pitched together for so many years. Brad tells me he seldom, if ever, has to shake off Tyler Plumpton. He knows exactly what to put down in every situation. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Pitch on the way. Missed inside.
Really close take there from Jake Sanford, a brave one. And still really vocally involved. Baycats contingent here at home.
One thing about Brad, he doesn't let bad calls get to him. He's gets the ball right back. 3-2 pitch. High fly ball center field. Should stay in the park. Noel McGarry Doyle makes the catch with Brad Grieveson's back turned to him as he walks back to the dugout. So the Baycats need 4 to tie as we head to the bottom of the 9th inning. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV Barrie.
I'm Chrissy Fans from 400 Chrysler and Barrie Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. This year, we are the community partners of the Barrie Baycats. Community is near and dear to our hearts here at the dealerships and one of our core values, so we can support local and shop local.
Visit Alliance Billiards and Sports in the northeast end of Barrie. A fun, friendly family environment offering pool, darts, karaoke, and live entertainment. Enjoy a large variety of delicious food and drinks on the patio. You'll come as a stranger and leave as a friend.
Bottom of the 9th inning at Barrie. Baycats with 3 outs to try to get 4 runs off closer Davy Mendez.
You mentioned it earlier on the broadcast, Mendez 1 pitch in this series, and it was the pitch that lost Welland Game 2 here at this ballpark, a walk-off home run by Francisco Hernandez, who, if a Baycat can get on in this inning, would end up coming up to face him.
Situation like this for Mendez, one mistake isn't going to cost him anything. He just needs to pitch the way he normally does. And the Baycats need base runners. You mentioned Francisco hitting 4th in the inning, who hit that much talked about home run to win Game 2 here. Tyler Plumpton 0 for 2, grounded into a double play in the 2nd inning. Lively crowd here at Athletic Kulture Stadium. 5-1 Welland lead. First pitch from Mendez on the way. Plumpton taking all the way. It's a called strike.
Plumpton's never faced Mendez in his career, and I question, I had the thought maybe between innings we might see Andrew Johnston in a pinch hit situation here, but Josh Matlow trusting his catcher to get it done offensively.
0-1 pitch from Mendez. Plumpton hits it deep to left field. Hupe back near the track. Reads it all the way for the out, 1 down.
Well, he put the bat on the ball really well, and you don't see Tyler Plumpton, go for extra base hits that often, but he got a really good piece of that one, just short of the warning track.
So you got the part of the order here that you definitely want coming up in 9th inning, but with 1 out now. McGarry Doyle, the Hernandez brothers, Macabroda behind them. Mendez getting the first out. First pitch to Noel McGarry Doyle. They appeal at third. He did not go. Well, the story of this game, Jackfish starter Euclides Lair pitched 8 brilliant innings for Welland today, and only 2 of those 8 innings did he face more than 3 batters. Both of those innings he faced only 4 batters. So you want to know how the score got to be 5-1? That's how.
It's pretty crazy. The Baycats have had 1 walk and 4 hits offensively, and they've left only 1 base runner.
This man at the plate doubled and scored the lone run for the Baycats today, Noel McGarry Doyle. 2 balls, no strikes. Mendez working from the stretch. No runners on behind him. He's got the glove up high, kicks and deals. Swing and a miss. McGarry Doyle couldn't connect. 2-1.
Mendez used to be the kind of pitcher where the speed might blow some hitters away, but I think after a few years in this league, a lot of players have started to catch on. Now it's still velocity, but he's added a lot more movement to his arsenal.
2-1 pitch, swing and a miss by McGarry Doyle. 2-2. This Welland crowd making a lot of noise just past the dugout. A 2-2 count here. 1 out in the inning. Jackfish can have a chance to wrap up this series at home tomorrow if they can hold down this lead. 5-1 Welland. Mendez with a 2-2 count on Noel McGarry Doyle. Pitch incoming. Up high, and the count is full. Every out so precious for the Baycats here. Only 2 of them left to work with. Three balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Welland puts the target down. Here's the payoff pitch from Mendez. Outside, ball 4. 1 out walk for the Baycats. Here comes Brandon Hernandez.
That's an important base runner for Barrie, especially one with some considerable speed in Noel McGarry Doyle. Brandon Hernandez 1 for 1 in his career with an RBI against Davy Mendez. His brother behind him 3 for 3. So you mentioned it earlier, exactly the part of the order Barrie wants. But again, they don't want to double off here.
No, definitely need to stay out of the double play on a ground ball. That could end this game. Brandon Hernandez has not reached base safely yet today. Here's the first pitch. Swings and misses. Chases a high heater. 0-1. If Brandon can get on, the tying run would be on deck. That would be Nolan Macabrota. Some work to do, though, before we start thinking that far ahead. Runner on, 1 out. Mendez deals. Called strike. 0-2.
Yeah, he gets Hernandez with a curveball, that 12-6 movement.
Hernandez thought it was going to be high, but the bottom just dropped out of it. Dropped right into the strike zone. Now an 0-2 count to Brandon. Davy Mendez with an 0-2 pitch coming up. Called strike 3. And now 2 out in the ninth. Here's Francisco Hernandez.
Francisco Hernandez.
Well, it was the matchup that decided Game 2. These 2 opponents right here. Francisco Hernandez has gotten the better of Mendez every time he's faced him thus far in his career. All 3 for extra bases.
And now time is called as Francisco steps out. Maybe to take the crowd out of it. When was the last time you saw that? A home player step out to maybe take the visiting crowd out of the at-bat. Those Welland fans are bringing some energy to this ballpark here this afternoon. Absolutely love it. Here's the pitch from Mendez. It's low and in the dirt. On deck, Nolan Macabrota. 1-0 the count. Francisco 0 for 3 today. McGarry Doyle at first. Pitch is outside, 2-0, so Francisco able to work a favorable count here.
Surprised we didn't see McGarry Doyle at least attempt to steal in that previous at-bat with Brandon Hernandez. Not only just to stay out of the double play, but having a runner behind Mendez at second base would put a lot more pressure on than just at first.
Would be an interesting scenario. 2 out now, though, in the inning. Probably won't send him here. Here's the pitch coming up from Davy Mendez. On the ground to third. Green mishandles the ball. It gets by him. Up to third goes McGarry Doyle. Into second goes Francisco Hernandez. So how about that? A gutsy move by Francisco Hernandez to take second. That ball got by Green and ended up in a very dangerous area.
It would have been a tough play no matter what with that distance at third base behind the bag for Thomas Green, but his error there allows Hernandez to take second. It's going to be scored an infield hit. It looked like, from our point of view, he was kind of trying to throw the ball before he even had the ball in his glove.
First baseman number 20, Nolan Macabrota.
So the tying run is on deck. That's Tristan Clark. In order for him to get a chance, though, this man here at the plate has to deliver. Nolan Macabrota.
So now,
2 out in the inning.
So now a save situation here for Mendez with tying run on deck, as you mentioned.
5-1 Welland. Here's the pitch from Mendez. It's inside, ball 1. A walk here would load the bases. Looking ahead to Clark, he's 1 for 3 this afternoon. Macabrota 0 for 2 with a walk. The left-hander waggles the bat as he waits for Mendez with a 1-0 pitch coming up. And it's high, 2-0. Barrie Baycats trying to create some ninth inning drama here at Athletic Kulture Stadium. A long way to go, down 5-1, 2 out in the inning, but 2 runners on behind Davy Mendez. Noel McGarry Doyle at third, Francisco Hernandez at second. First base is open. A 2-0 count to Nolan Macabrota. Here comes the pitch. Inside, ball 3. Couple of very close pitches in this at bat. Macabrota taking all the way. And now a 3-0 pitch coming up.
Mendez kind of stepped off the mound. He looked like he was talking towards his dugout. And I think they're going to try and intentionally walk Macabrota here. I think he just put up the 4 fingers.
Well, I was wondering about that as well. Macabrota's still in the box, though. And Brian Essery is walking out towards the mound.
I think it was more of Mendez appealing to his manager to say, why don't we just walk him here? But again, if you intentionally walk Macabrota, you run the risk of putting the tying run on at the plate, with Tristan Clark.
Well, I'd love to be a fly on the wall hearing what's being said right now between Brian Essery and Davy Mendez, because perhaps that was the case. Maybe Mendez was saying, I want to walk him here 3-0. I'm more comfortable pitching to Clark rather than making a mistake on 3-0. And whatever was said between Essery and Mendez has worked itself out, and this at-bat is going to continue to Nolan Macabrota with the count 3-0. We can only speculate, but Macabrota's going to get a 3-0 pitch coming up here. Ball 4, so they walk him anyways, and maybe that's what Essery said. Throw the pitch anyways, make sure it's nothing he can hit.
Because in that case there, you're giving Macabrota the opportunity for him to make a mistake. If he gets the green light to swing at that pitch, a ground ball ends the game essentially in that part. But now tying run at the plate, I don't think anybody thought this would be the case, or the situation we'd be in 2 innings to go.
So here comes Tristan Clark. A grand slam would tie this game. 5-1. Baycats still trailing by 4.
The Baycats have not had a grand slam all year.
What is Clark thinking about here? We'll find out. First pitch on the way. He's taking. It's a called strike.
I don't mind that take from Clark. I think anyone in that situation should be taking all the way after a 4-pitch walk.
Bases loaded. 2 out. We're in the 9th. 5-1. Jackfish. Mendez to Clark. Strike 2.
Got the exact same pitch on the 0-1. Another fastball right down the heart of the plate.
2 takes by Clark, 2 called strikes. And now Mendez with some options. The Welland crowd behind the dugout on its feet, behind Davy Mendez. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss! Strike 3! The Welland Jackfish take a 3-1 series lead. A game-ending strikeout. Davy Mendez leaves the bases loaded behind him, and Welland prevails in Game 4 by a score of 5-1.
For the Baycats in the 9th, no runs, no hits.
A lot of Barrie's offense coming in that 9th inning, but it was too little too late. Could only muster 3 hits off of Jackfish starter Euclidus Layer, who only faced 2 more batters than the minimum through 8 innings, and then Davy Mendez gets himself in and out of a jam, stranding the bases loaded, striking out Tristan Clark, representing the tying run, and taking a commanding 3-1 series lead back home for Game 5 tomorrow.
So the task for the Baycats just got a little bit taller. Game 5 tomorrow in Welland. If they win that, Game 6 back here on Tuesday night at Athletic Kulture Stadium, and Game 7, if necessary, Thursday night in Welland. The Jackfish with 3 opportunities to take the 2025 Jack and Lynn Dominico Cup against the Barrie Baycats here in this best-of-7 series. So don't forget to join Alec and Reese for tomorrow's broadcast from Welland Stadium on the Welland Jackfish YouTube page. Julius and I hope to be back here on Tuesday night, but if not, we want to thank all of our viewers and fans and everybody that's worked so hard to bring these broadcasts this season. We hope we're back here for you on Tuesday night. Until next time, this is Ben Davy speaking. Good afternoon from Athletic Kulture Stadium.
My name is Ron Daniels. Thank you so much for coming out this afternoon to the ballpark. Please drive home safely, and we hope to see you back at the ballpark once again in 2025.